Alright, this is a guide on how to start a Mythic dungeon in World of Warcraft. Now, if you've done Mythic dungeon in World of Warcraft before, this video might be a complete waste of your time. But, if you've never started a Mythic dungeon before, whether you're an old player in WoW or a new player in WoW, and you're interested in starting your first Mythic dungeon, this video is just for you. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. We're going to open up our scene, our beautiful World of Warcraft scene. Now, the first thing I want you to know about Mythic dungeons is you're going to have this little dungeon difficulty thing set to Mythic, right? You're going to do this before you enter the dungeon, because when you're inside the dungeon like I am right now, you won't be able to change it. Right, wonderful. So, next step, we're going to have to find a group. We're going to open up our group finder. If you don't know what button it is, it's the little symbol down here. And we're going to select dungeons, and we have an option to start a group or find a group, right? So let's look at the find a group first. Now, you can see that there's a bunch of different lists here, and you know what instance they are because you can see underneath the title it says Ataldazar, Operation Mechagon, the Motherlode, right? So that's how we know what dungeon it is. Now, how do we know what difficulty it is? That's indicated by the number in the title. 0, 7, 12, 10, 14. So what this means is when this group gets filled and they start running their dungeon, they're going to be starting off on a Mythic difficulty of 14. Whereas this group that just got delisted because it got filled is going to be starting at a 0. Now, once you do your first Mythic 0, which is what you're going to be starting out every week, and you complete it, you'll get a key that's based on your performance, meaning that if you have a lot of deaths or something like that, or like a slow time, you might get a level 2 key, or if you have a higher performance, you might get a level 4, or if you have a higher performance, you might get a level 6. The numbers might not be as accurate, but the principle is still the same. So anyway, when you're looking for your group, you go down and you can click sign up, and you want to understand the difficulty that you're kind of geared for. So, for example, I know my gear is not ready for Mythic 16, so I'm not even going to try and sign up. In fact, most of these groups that I sign up for, even the zeros, I don't get pulled in at all. Now, I have a fine item level in terms of completing Mythic 0 through 4. I've got a 420 item level, right? Or is it 430 now? No, it's 420. But most of the time, I don't get invited to any of these groups. So what I do is I go to start a group. Now, I've got a Mythic Keystone level 4 for Mechagon, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure Dungeons is, after I click on Start Group, I make sure Dungeons is highlighted, and then under here, I select Operation Mechagon, select the difficulty Mythic, and then in my title, I can just type 4, and then if I wanted to, I can add Mechagon. I don't have to because it's specified in the little gray thing, but this would tell players that I'm looking to do a group at Mythic level 4, and I would click List Group, and then a little icon comes up here, and then over here, I have people applying to join my group. So now I don't have to worry about, am I going to get accepted into these groups or not? I can start my own group, and I can accept or reject people as I see fit. Like if I see an item level 389 person apply to this group, I'm going to reject them. But if I see a level 470 that wants to go, like this 446, I can easily invite them. Now I'm just going to delist my group for the purpose of the video. But that's how you would get the group. Now the next thing that you're going to have to be aware of is you're going to have to travel to whatever instance you're participating in. So, hold on. Oh shit, I accidentally zoned out. Fuck, god damn it. Alright, go back to Zol. Alright, so if we're going to do fucking Ataldazar, for example, you're all going to have to go there. So, the easiest way to do that is you have 2 people go to the summoning stone, and then you can summon the other players. Now, to give you an idea of if the people that you're running with are going to be, you know, alright or not, you want to figure out if they could even understand how to get to the dungeon. Because, for example, I'm in Mechagon right now, right? Here's the entrance. I had a couple groups where people didn't even have Mechagon unlocked yet. And it kind of made me a little bit worried, and I wanted to back out of the group. The reason for that is because when I do the key, you're timed, and every death that you have takes away from that time as a time penalty. So I didn't want to just jump into a group like that. But that's I digress. I digress. The fact of the matter is, you're going to have to go there, and you're going to have to summon people, and you're going to have to run into the instance. So we went over how to find the group. We went over the fact that you're going to have to go to the instance to be summoned. And now the final thing that we're going to go over is, once you're inside the dungeon, if you're the key holder and you have the key like this, you're going to have to find this little guy right here to my left. This right here is the font of power. Not the little gnome over here. This little guy right here. This is the font of power. And when you click on it, a little screen opens up and you can place your keystone, and you'll see that we have 38 minutes to complete this dungeon. You also see a little bit more of the difficulties added, like 21% more damage, 21% more health, stuff like that. When everyone is in the dungeon, is when you will activate this and you will start your run, right? And then that's how your mythic dungeon starts. The rest is up to you as a player. Do you have the skill as a group and as an individual to persist through the dungeon, or will you fail? Now, the reason that this font of power is so important is because I'm going to run away from this thing for a second, and I'm going to go to the entrance of the dungeon. So this is the view that you have when you first enter the dungeon. Now, the font of power is all the way over here. It's not shiny, it looks like a fucking gnome, right? So when I first entered this dungeon, I looked like an idiot in front of my group because I was running over here and they're like, is anyone gonna activate the key? I was like, where the fuck is this thing? I thought it was this thing over here. I was like looking for like some like spectacular thing that I can put my key into, and then no, it's this thing over here. So it might not be as difficult to identify in other dungeons. In fact, I might just be an idiot and just couldn't identify it at all. Like, that's a complete possibility too. But if you have trouble viewing it, to save yourself from looking like an idiot in front of your group, keep in mind that you're looking for this little fucking probe that's just sticking out of the ground. And that's pretty much the video. So we're going to call it a guide, and that's it. See you later.